You're listening to Inside Lebo, a podcast giving you an inside look at Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office.
Hello and welcome to Inside Lebo. I'm your host, Assistant Municipal Manager and Municipal Planner, Ian McMeans.
And I'm Assistant Public Information Officer and Senior and Online Editor, Rachel Windsor.
In today's episode, we're talking all about the fun and exciting things for teens to do in Mount Lebanon. From winter reading challenges to music nights at the library, there's something for everyone.
So we have three great guests with us today. First, Katie Donahoe, a library here at Mount Lebanon, a 7th grader, Max Diegelman, and Brittany Tonkavich, the Student Activities Director at Mount Lebanon High School. So Katie and Max will be sharing some of the library's teen programs, while Brittany will talk about the amazing leadership opportunities for teens at the upcoming PASC Region B conference. So let's start with Katie and Max. Thank you so much for joining us. And why don't we start off by talking about the Winter Reading Challenge? What is it and what do teens need to know?
Excellent. Well, thank you for having us. Katie, I'm the teen librarian over at Mount Lebanon, and the Winter Reading Challenge is winter's answer to summer reading. And instead of 3 months, it is a 1 month long challenge. It runs the entire month of February. And what the teens can do is come in and get a bingo sheet. And each time they get a bingo, which is 5 across, diagonal, or down, they can turn the sheets in for prizes. So basically, they're infinite tickets. And you can turn them in for different prize baskets. We have kawaii gifts from the kawaii store in Shadyside. We have a bunch of different board games that we got from Games Unlimited in Squirrel Hill. Really cool bin full of different fidgets from Learning Express in the Galleria, and a whole basket full of different Pokemon stuff. It has cards, plushies. We have a ton of Pokemon fans that regularly come on over, so I'm glad we put something together for them as well. So these are not just reading-based, but they're also activities-based, so they include coming to a library event. That will count as one square you can check off, but also anything you're reading, whether it be for school. We have different challenges, making snow sculptures, writing poetry. So you can choose all reading activities or all activities. Any way that you fill it out, you are eligible for prizes. And again, it goes until the end of the month on the 28th.
Cool. That sounds like a lot of fun and a lot of different ways for kids to get involved with different activities, not just reading books, but also other engagement with the library and the community as well. So I know a lot of teens are into gaming. You mentioned there's the board games, but there's also different types of games. Obviously, there's kind of your traditional tabletop games as well as more interactive like role-playing games, things like that. So can you tell us broadly just about the different types of games that the library has available, kind of in all facets?
I inherited the board game collection from Brandon, who previously purchased the board games and video games for the library. He left right in the middle of the COVID lockdown, so then I took that upon myself to manage those collections. I wasn't even allowed to play video games as a kid, so it was actually kind of crazy to take over the board games and video games because it wasn't something I know a lot about. Like, I played D&D with my friends, but otherwise, I was very much a novice about that. But something I have been investing pretty heavily in, besides the traditional board games, is different RPG books. Like, recently there was a new one created for Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's a new one coming out for the Magnus Archives. Different ways that kids can be a part of their fandoms by playing different games and basically acting out being the characters, which I think is a really cool thing and not something I had really been familiar with until the kids told me about it.
Nice. And there are weekly Dungeons and Dragons games at the library too?
Yeah, Max is involved with that. I think he could probably speak a bit more on D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons is basically teen-led, so our wonderful D&D leader, Sunny, gives us, for example, after a big fight, you guys go and rest, and then she kind of just leads it, and then it gets chaotic, but it's also very fun to hang out and just enjoy playing D&D if you're really into D&D.
Cool. So if someone's interested in that, when is that? What night of the week?
It's every Thursday from 4 to 6, I think.
That's correct. Every Thursday from 4 to 6. And Sunny goes to Jefferson, and we also have a couple other Jefferson kids who do make the walk over. They have a lot further of a walk than our Mellon kids to come and play, and we have some high schoolers there as well. So it's really kids from around the community. We also have, it's more seasonal, but we also have a role-playing game solo role-playing game meetup, which is basically like a creative writing journaling event that happens every couple of months down at Needle and Bean. We have that on a Saturday afternoon, and actually I'm going to be presenting on my project that I've been working on with these solo role-playing games in creative writing, because that is not something that unfortunately you get to do a lot of in school once you're out of elementary school. But I'm going to be presenting on the projects the kids have been working on at the University of Uppsala in Sweden over the summer. So the whole world's going to find out about our cool creative kids.
That's really cool. And just one other note, on a personal level, my family's really big into board games. I know we've often used the collection at the library as kind of a sampling of like, oh, let's try out this game, see if we like it before we drop, $40, $60, $80 on a new board game. So it's a really great resource to have in our community to be able to hear about a game and be like, oh, I've heard about Splendor. It sounds cool. Let me try it before I go buy it. Oh, this is a great family game. I'm going to go buy it. Or Ark Nova or Terraforming Mars.
Honestly,
or
a lot of people don't have the access to a lot of these games because they are so expensive. Like that is something that, especially with trying to buy all of the role-playing guides and different like niche board games, especially stuff like that was originally Kickstarted and now is more publicly available. Like maybe your family doesn't have the money to go out and get you this game, but you can try it, and then maybe you save your money up and get it later. But no one is being denied any kind of experience because they're financially unable to pay for it. That's always something important that I think we do at the library, removing any kind of barriers to access.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Seems like there's a lot of really good ways to meet other teens that share similar interests around all variety of different games. So I hear you also have teen Lego hours at the library. Tell me about that.
Yeah. You want to talk about that, Max? Max is one of the students who started it.
Yeah. So, Lego is basically we usually pick a day in the week for every month, and then it's different themes. So, like, last time was Chinese New Year, the like waving cat things. So then we built those, and then, so like every month there's a new thing that we do. So it's kind of like, find what you want to do, ask us, and then we can do it for you.
And we provide the Legos. And I did tell you what we're doing next week, right?
Yeah, we're doing Pokemon, right?
Oh, we're doing that. No, we actually used all the Pokemon up last month. We're doing Lego rose bouquets. So for somewhat belated Valentine's Day, because we couldn't do it this past Friday, but this Friday we're doing Lego rose bouquets, and we actually get funding through Matt's Makerspace specifically to work on different Lego programs, because it's a good like mental health thing, like with mindfulness and building, and it's also a good community thing because they can do these activities together. So we do actually have special funding we receive at the library specifically for Lego events, and that's a very generous donation that a woman made in memory of her son who passed away. So we are putting that to good use, and then everyone gets to take home Lego.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really cool. You get to take them home at the end of the night, too. So if anyone forgot to get their mom a gift for Valentine's Day, a Lego rose bouquet might be just the thing to do. So at the intro to the show, we also mentioned there's some music events at the library, too. So how can teens get involved with music at the library?
For teens to get involved, maybe like go to the library, and then during like the day that they're doing the music stuff, see if it's something that you're really passionate about and want to do, or if you just want to do it for fun and see if you like want to make music. And then most people at the library are really nice, and they'll like let you in and have fun making music.
So can you tell us a little bit more about how you've sort of brought your own musical interest to the library, Max? I know that there's some instruments that are there now. How did you get all of that started?
So one day during a teen planning meeting that we do every Thursday, from 6 to 7:30, I came up with an idea that since there wasn't really any music club, I feel like there should have been like something for people with like musical interests that don't like have the utilities to make music. They could make music at the library. So then I came up with like a little list of stuff that we can do for music, and then it kind of just came together.
That's awesome.
So what types of instruments are available?
We have a ukuleles, one of the omophones.
Oh yeah, tomatones.
Omatones, yes. And then how do you say it?
Theremin, yeah.
Theremin, yes.
Yeah, so a mix of like analog and electric, and we got a $2,000 grant from EITC a few years ago to buy a bunch of instruments. And as a musician and composer a little bit myself, it's something that interests me, and I was hoping that the right kids would come along and it would interest them. So I'm lucky that Max has been gathering his songwriters together, and we're going to see what we can get them recording at the library.
That's really cool.
That's great. So, Katie, why don't you tell us how teens can get involved with any of these programs?
Sure. If you have an idea for something that doesn't exist yet, of course, come talk to me as well. But we do have monthly volunteer meetings. They're the first Thursday of every month, and anyone who's interested can come to them. And if you decide it's for you, you can fill out an application. You don't have to make up your own event, but if you do, you will present that to the other students who are there, and they'll kind of work with you, and you'll work with me on developing promotion for your event, getting the word out, kind of having your street team of other students promoting it to other people. So basically once a month, first Thursday of the month, in the Learning Lab, 6 to 7:30, there are snacks and pretty much bubble tea. I know that's a big hit. There's bubble tea, and pretty much any idea that we can make happen, we will do our best to do it. Timeline-wise, probably, if you're thinking about doing something starting now, we're going to probably have to push that off till the summer, because May, we generally don't have a lot of events as the school year winds down. But if you do have ideas, we would love to hear them and support them. I know for me, growing up in Mount Lebanon, I personally spent a lot of time at the Unitarian Church, not because I'm Unitarian, but because they had open mics for kids, and they had a lot of different activities, and they gave us free coffee. And I had a lot of fun at Sunny Hill as a teen, because they just had a lot of fun stuff for teens, and they were very open-minded about just giving us the floor to do what we wanted in like a safe environment. And that's kind of something I'd like to give to the next generation through my work at the library.
Cool. That sounds great. So we're going to take a short break here, and we'll be back with more information about what teens can do in the community and at Mount Lebanon Library. Welcome back to Inside Lebo. We're here today talking about things for teens to do in Mount Lebanon. So in the first half of the show, we talked about some activities available through Mount Lebanon Public Library, but now we're going to switch gears a little bit and move into some opportunities for leadership and growth with Brittany Tonkavich, who is the Mount Lebanon Student Activities Director at the high school. So Brittany, thanks for being here, and can you share with us some news and what's going on at the Student Activities Office at the high school?
Yeah. So if you're not familiar, the Student Activities Office is both a really cool space for seniors to hang out, but it's also a hub of student life at the high school. So we coordinate community service, which is kind of a big thing right now since kids are trying to get into NHS. We sell dance tickets, and we manage all and plan all of the major student events throughout the year, so dances and assemblies and fun things. And we also coordinate student clubs, which right now we have around 80. And we also are the hub for student council for the whole school. So a lot going on up there.
Awesome. So what are some of the examples of some of the student clubs that people can join? Any tips for teens that are thinking of getting involved but might be feeling a little bit shy about joining?
Yeah. All of our student clubs are just that. They are run by students, and it's kids that have a passion for something that they want to share with others. And so it's probably better to list them by categories than just straight up clubs, because like I said, there are around 80 right now. So we have identity and affinity groups available, things like our Black Student Union or religious groups like the Bible Club. We have lots of STEM clubs like Coding Gals and Science Olympiad, shared interests like Nintendo and Animal Enthusiasts. We have service clubs. Aiding the elderly and helping the homeless are both really popular. Some artistic clubs like the Intramural Dance Club or photography, and then various competitions, mock trial, quiz bowl, other clubs. So lots to choose from. And so these are just a few examples of the clubs that we have. So if I missed anybody's out there, I promise it's not personal. But if somebody's feeling shy about joining, I think go for one. Go for one that seems like the best fit. Like, this is my biggest interest, and just show up, because probably somebody else is feeling shy about it too. The leader is feeling shy, like, what if nobody shares my interest and now I've just put myself out there and no one shows up? Like, you're probably that person that everybody is waiting for to show up. And I would just assume that. I would assume that if that club is what speaks to you, then those people are waiting for you to walk in the door.
Cool. That sounds great. So at the beginning of the show, Rachel teased a little bit about the upcoming PASC Region B conference. So can you tell us a little bit about what the conference is and what kind of activities and workshops are available for folks attending?
Yeah. So PASC is the PASC Region B conference is actually a shortened version, if you can imagine that, of the Pennsylvania Association of Student Councils, Region B, which includes schools from Allegheny, Greene, and Washington counties. So that's our region within the whole state. And so the conference is to bring together our student council leaders from those three counties. The theme of this conference is Lucky to Lead, and we're emphasizing steward leadership. So being lucky to serve your community in sort of a servant leadership position, which much of student council is, and much of leadership in the high school is. The deadline to sign up is February 24th, and the conference itself is Monday, March 17th. It's open to pretty much anybody who's interested in student council. So you don't have to be a student council member to be there. You could be somebody that's really curious about it and want to show up and just check it out. And the workshops are going to give a really good variety of what student councils do. We have 25 workshops. Again, they are all student-led. The entire conference is student-planned, which is really awesome. And the workshops are going to include topics like inclusivity and mental health. I saw things on there about crisis response, self-discovery, like what kind of leader am I, and community engagement and service, communication skills, time management, and we even have one that's AI for leaders. So all of those are centered on leadership and building up the leaders. And it is for students grades 6 through 12, so there's a good variety, whatever level kids are coming in at.
Great. And so it sounds like there's a lot of benefits for the students to be involved. Can you speak a little bit more about whether this is something that's really centered on leadership skills, or are there some other opportunities for students that may not be involved in student council but sort of want to expand their reach at the conference? Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good conference for any kids who are leading, who want to build up skills and connect with other leaders. I think the biggest benefit there is going to be networking with other schools and seeing what they're doing. There are some amazing things going on at our peer schools, and I think it's really cool in a student-driven, student-led conference that you get to see what other kids are capable of and realize, like, wow, I'm capable of that, and our school is capable of that. We also have a great keynote speaker coming who is a retired Marine Corps colonel. His name is Scott Koltick. He's from Bethel Park, and he's our guest for the day. And we also have a panel from CMU's Student Council, which includes both undergraduate and graduate members of their student government. So if students are interested in where could my leadership go next, I'm headed out into the world, what could I do with this? They're going to be answering questions about how to continue this.
Cool. That sounds great. So how can students sign up to attend the conference?
They can scan the QR codes or look for notifications on Schoology, which is the hub of all of our information at the middle and high school. So we encourage kids to go find a QR code or click a link and sign up. And I'll make a plug for this. If leadership is not your thing, we do have Clash of Classes coming up for the high school And that's time when we're going to find out which class is really the best class. I think we should be terrified of the juniors this year.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, actually, for people that might not have heard of it?
Yeah, Clash of Classes is when all 4 of the classes, we'll have a spirit week throughout the week. They can compete and who participates the most, and it culminates in a big competition at the end of the week where we play lots of games, and their classes dress in their colors. Last year, it got really exciting. The seniors and the sophomores, who are the current juniors, were both rushing the court and for every game, and it was everybody who showed up had a really good time. So we're hoping it'll be rowdy. The games are to be determined, but there'll be sign-ups, so people can participate with their grades. It's a really good time to bond as a class and to beat each other up a little bit within good right. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for sharing with us all of the opportunities at the Mount Lebanon High School, including the PASC Region B conference coming up. Sounds like there's lots of opportunities for teens to get involved. And thank you, Katie and Max, for sharing a little bit about the activities available for teens through the library. Also, just a plug for teens that may be interested in local government, we have positions opening soon for junior board members and junior commissioners at the Mount Lebanon municipality. Applications will open soon in April, so stay tuned and head to mountlebanon.org for more details. And that'll be it for this edition of Inside Lebo, produced by Marsha Morgenstern, with music by Drew Mignot and graphics by Chris Leeper.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. And as we mentioned throughout the show, for more information about high school activities, you can check out the Schoology app. And for getting involved with the library, there's the First Thursday volunteer meetings that happen at 6 o'clock every Thursday in the Learning Center, in the Learning Lab. And you can check those out if you're interested in proposing a new activity, or just check mountlebanonlibrary.org for any additional information about upcoming programs and activities at the library. So thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon with another episode.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office. Learn more about all things Lebo at mountlebanon.org or by following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.